Okay. So I am going to have something on my screen, though I'm not really going to be doing much on the computer. It's going to be more of a chatting day and continuing with my bullet journaling because surprisingly enough, I have finished doing all like I would say like 98% of the penciling. So now I've moved on to the inking stage, but I can only ink but so much because I have color um, inky pens coming, and they're probably not going to come until much later after the stream today. But I want to add a bit of color to some of my line work, so um, I don't want to go overboard with using the black pens that I have because I've got color coming. And I've got a different kind of black pen also coming that I want to try out, which is not going to be much different than what I already have here. But suffice it to say, I'm very excited because, um, like I said, I've done a majority of the penciling. Let me change my stream title. Oh, I was not expecting that sound. Okay, let me transition my screen here and get out of studio mode. How do I get out of studio mode? No, how do I get out of studio mode? Okay, here we go. Jeez. Oh, I didn't even realize that it didn't go all the way to the bottom. What a weirdo am I? Okay, there we go. Gonna do a little bit of inking. How do I add tags? That's a silly question. Oh, there's a save button down here. Okay, got it. Okay. Now, let's show you guys what I've been working on. So here's my journal. And oh, you know what? I remembered I should switch the windows so that this is over here and I can see what I'm showing you. Okay, so um, what I did was I actually have the this part here over the few pages that I have not actually used. So I need to decide my brain dump is going to go back here as well as my 2022 um, layout planning. And I think this is going to be the perfect amount of pages where I'm probably going to do like 5 or 6 brain dump pages. And then the last like maybe 10 or 12 pages will be for me to kind of do some sketching and planning like I did in my 2019 planner, my 2019 planner, which is downstairs, um, to sketch out what I wanted to do for this planner in that one. So this is the first time that I've planned it out so that I'm using this much of my journal. If I use it daily. Um, and so if I do, I almost wish I had like the camera that I could like tilt downward so I could show you what is happening here, but you won't be able to probably see this. But if I flip like this, you'll see that every page is basically being utilized here, at least for the planning part. And so what's going to happen is I'm using a daily spread as opposed to a weekly spread. Most people will use a monthly, a weekly, and then a daily. I decided to just use a monthly and a daily spread um, because I work better seeing things one day at a time, I think, or at least I think I will this year, versus seeing things 1 week at a time and then breaking that week down to days. I'd rather just break down my days each morning. So my plan is the 4 days that I stream, Monday through Thursday, I will start like through the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes with what my um, tasks are for that day. It'll be like, stream started, writing, Friday fiction number 1 for the next 3 hours. And then I'll put after that, working from this time to that time, um, lunch from this time to that time, stuff like that. And I'll just do it that every morning. I'll write it out. And then as I do each thing, I will then use a key, which I'm actually going to put. Um, I think I left myself a bit of space. Yeah, so I'm actually going to put a key in here, which most people use a key, and I'm going to use one and put it in my bullet journal of like what it means if I've completed something, if I haven't completed something, how I'm going to take that thing and carry it over um, to the next day, et cetera, like that. Um, so here's where I have started inking. So as you can see this a lot clearer than you could the last time I showed it to you. The word consistent is not inked in because I haven't decided if I want to do that in a particular color as opposed to just putting it in black, but I did ink in the 2021, the underline, and the part that says word of the year. So all of that is inked in. And here I haven't inked this in yet, this page. What am I doing? This page, sorry. This is the page that shows my measurements so that I can see um, how to break things down on each page. It's easier if you have this kind of guide so that I know how many squares there are, how many squares I should count if I want to do the page in thirds or halves or whatever the case may be. And then in here is my index, which I did ink in black. I'm going to do the other side as well. So I took a picture and it's of this page and it's on my Instagram. So I break down each page that it's on if I want to find a specific page very quickly. My newsletters tracker page is on page 18. My Friday Fiction PPP, which stands for Patrons, Public, and Podcast. And I know that I was going to write that out initially, but then I'm like, you know what? It's going to make that line look a lot longer than it needs to be. I know what PPP stands for. So I don't need to write that out because this is more for me than it is for you. So as long as I know what it means, that's all that matters. I'm going to track, the books I'm reading, and I actually put that first on my tracker because I really want to see that every time I open my planner to go to the other trackers like my word count, my newsletter, my Friday fiction, my submissions. I want to be reminded, like, are you reading something? Did you write it down here? Did you finish it? that sort of thing. So let's move on to the mini calendar, which I think I did complete. So this is what I'm going to work on inking today. I'm going to work on inking this. I need to move everything up 2 lines. So I'm going to move everything up 2 lines. This is in pencil. So what happens is I'll just ink it 2 lines up, and I'll try to copy it as I have it and moving everything 2 lines up. And then I will come back with an eraser like I did on the previous index page and erase all the pencil away. So you won't even, like when I showed you the previous page, you probably couldn't even tell that I had erased a lot of penciling on that page. I have a really good eraser that I use. So here's the page, and then at the bottom here, I have a lot more stuff to add. So the reason why I haven't inked this in yet is because I'm trying to figure out how I can do this, maybe truncating this in a way so that it gives me a bit more space at the bottom to write what I have after my daily spreads. I'm going to change the word from weekly to spread to daily spreads, um, and try to figure out how I'm going to do that. But if you see from here, it shows that December ends on page 225, and there's 251 pages. So there's basically 26 pages left in the back for me to tinker with, which basically works out to be 13 pages front and back, because that's and they put the page numbers on here, which is great, and I really appreciate. So here is my mini calendar that I did, yes, by hand. Now, bullet journaling is so big now that you can actually that there are actual like bullet journal enthusiasts and so on and so forth who have created their own like calendar, pre-printed stickered calendar, so you can actually purchase it. And I almost did, but then I was like, you know what, there's some amount of pleasure and joy and calmingness that goes with doing this yourself, first in pencil, then inking over top of it. So I did it by hand. A lot of people actually like doing it by hand. If you buy the sticker, it's really so you're saving yourself time. It could be for aesthetics if you're an illustrator or an artist who wants to really design your page and do some fancy, you know, uh, washi tape, which I was almost going to buy myself some washi tape, just because there's one thing that people will use washi tape for who are not um, artistically inclined like I am, which is just to be able to find a specific page quickly. So let's say if my Friday fiction spread, PPP spread, where I'm tracking when I write something, when I send it to my patrons, when I can then send it to my release it to the public, and then um, when I can then release it to or record it as a podcast to release it and stuff like that. So if I wanted to find that quickly, I could use it almost like a tab. You would take the washi tape and you would um, apply it to the edge of the page and then fold it over so that it's a piece that you can easily feel with your finger and then flip it over. But I have two bookmarkers here, to string bookmarkers, which I could technically use for that purpose. So I don't think I'm going to advance myself into the washi tape phase, at least not this year. If I can complete this journal, I think that is one thing I'm going to put in the back, is I'm going to put a page of like what upgrades I want to make to my 2022 bullet journal if I complete my 2021 bullet journal, or if I use it to its fullest extent. Because there will be days where I probably will be like, I ain't doing crap today. And I'll just put that in there like, I ain't feeling it today, whatever. But I think washi tape will be one of those things. Another one that I'm going to put is I'm going to try out an Archer and Olive um, notebook, bullet journal, because they're pretty expensive, $35. I don't typically pay that much. Like I think this one costs $20. Um, but I think if I use this, then I may give Archer and Olive a try, just so I can experience what everyone. I mean, Archer and Olive is such a fantastic and well-known company that a lot of bullet journal enthusiasts use, to the point where um, um, they'll have box openings, and they'll like film on YouTube themselves opening a box from Archer and Olive, because it's such an amazing experience to see that. Okay, so after the mini calendar, this is something else I'm going to work on inking today, is my future log. So this is all done in pencil, and I think I've showed you guys this already, but it's 4 pages. So it's these and then these 2 pages. So I'm going to ink all of this stuff in. I was filling in like actual holidays that I know I have off, and people's birthdays, etc. I started inking this in, and this is why I actually have up on my screen 2021 goals and resolutions, because I want to make sure that I write down my goals, as I've been putting for both in my Patreon post, in my post that's going to go public, and in my newsletter that's going to get sent to everyone. I want to make sure in all three, and now my bullet journal, in all four of those places, I'm listing what my goals are identical in each of those places. So um, I have my goals page, which is not inked in yet, although the goals of 2021 is inked. What the actual goals are, I started writing them down, and then I stopped myself because I'm like, I need to actually see what I've written already and make sure that everything is, like I said, matching. I did start inking in my 2020 a look back page. Now, this is only things that are positive, good things that happened this year. I do not want to put things like the pandemic happened, um, stuff like that. I want to put good, positive things, such as the first thing I inked in, I drove across country in 11 days from LA to upstate New York. I'm a homeowner now. I'm going to ink in that I wrote 26 Friday fiction stories, um, that I improved my credit score, which is how I was able to purchase this house, um, and be able to have a mortgage. Um, I'm going to put that I paid off all of the credit card debt that I had, things like that. Positive, good things that came out of this year, I want to put in here. I don't want to put any of the bad things, like the fact that I went to the ER twice this year. I'm not putting that. And I think it's important that you do that, and that's why I'm going to show you what I put in the back of the book. There's something that I put in the back, and I'm intentionally put it in the back, whereas most people would put it in the front. I wanted to put it in the back so that it kind of forces me to go through and kind of even flip through and see things before I get back there to put something on a specific page I have in the back. But so I have this blank page here because I have a few blank pages where I want to put a quote. Again, a positive quote. And I'm going to put in my index at the bottom, I'm going to put quote pages, and I'm going to list all the pages that have a quote in them, in case I want to flip back and kind of, look at all of the quotes that'll give me some form of inspiration, positivity, good vibes, good feelings. I want 2021 to be a lot better than 2020, even though we are going to go into 2021 having a lot of the same of what we had in 2020, but there are going to be some good things, right? I'm going to ink in the trackers. Again, I kind of think I want to do this in some sort of color, which is why I don't know if I'm going to ink this in black. There are going to be some, like my dailies, I think I'm I'm going to ink in black, unless it's a specific holiday or birthday. Then I want to ink it in a specific color. I'm going to use color coding, where, like maybe blue will represent birthdays, and red will represent holidays, or green will represent holidays. And um, the Fridays that I already have planned for when I'm going to release stories, I might do like purple or something, and that will let me know that, oh, if when I see purple coming up, that means that I need to get myself into gear because I have this coming up, and then I might do, orange might represent a newsletter day. So every first of the month will be in orange so that it'll remind me like, oh, I'm releasing a newsletter today. I'm going to use color coding this year for sure because it'll be helpful in that way. So with my trackers, like I said, the first thing is my books. So I will do this in black, all of my, headings, and then the the border around it. I'm going to use just black ink. Um, so this is where I'm just going to list the book. I might list the title, and if I finished it, and like when I started, and when either finished the book or when I decided it's not a good book, so I can't finish it, and I mark it as DNF. But I definitely want to force myself, and that's why it's before I get into the nitty-gritty of my actual writing life. I want it to be first. And then here, it doesn't say what these 2 pages are, um, but these 2 pages are where I'm going to track my word counts for Friday Fiction. So they're numbered here. So January, each month I'm releasing 2 Friday Fiction stories. So the idea is I write the title beside the number, and then in those boxes on the other end, I'm going to put what the word count is, my final word count, right when I release it. And then at the bottom, I have right here is my total word count from January to June total. So I'm going to put that, and then on the other side, my total word count from July to December total word count. So that's there. Oh, you know what I need to do? It's a good thing I looked at this because I actually need to move my newsletter page over. Oh, which means I messed up my index because I inked that in, didn't I? There is a way to fix something that you've inked in either by using whiteout, which I have. People also use white pen to clean something up. But yeah, if I make my newsletters on page 19 and say that my word count is from page 16 to 18, because what I want to do is I want to have a big page, like a whole page, where I put total words in 2021, and then really big, I'm going to put what my total word count is at the end of the year. And I won't put that in that amount, obviously, till I reach the end of the year, and I take a sum total of both of those numbers at the bottom of each page, and then um, I write it down. Hey, Big Juicy, what's up? I'm just kind of showing off my spreads for my bullet journal that I've done. And then on the other page, I'm going to have my newsletter tracker. I want to track what my topics are, and I also want to make sure that I'm releasing them on the day. I mean, I don't really need the date because I release my newsletters on the first of every month, but I'm still going to write it down just in case I'm late with releasing. Then I want to see when I'm late, and I'll likely mark write down the date in a different color if I don't release it on the first because I'm late for whatever reason with releasing it. But I want to see what my topics are because I want my newsletters this year to be a bit more personal and less promotional. I found that my newsletters last year were much more about um, promoting myself. And this year, I'm going to try a different approach towards growing my brand or building my brand or creating my brand, which is to not so much actually worry about my brand, but more worry about the content that I release. And in turn, hoping that within the next, 2 to 5 years, that in focusing more on the content and less on the promoting and the brand, that it will bring those things to me, that I will grow my followers, if that makes any sense. But from listening to so many interviews from other indie authors and people who have patrons that are successful, or Patreons that are successful, they always almost always say they worry less about saying become a patron and more about like creating the content, and then the people will come. If you build it, they will come, they say. So I'm going to work on building and foundationing and building, and eventually, I will be, have my one moment in the sun where um, hundreds of people will discover a story I've written or something somewhere in their travels, and it will spiral into getting, a dozen patrons. Who knows? But I'm not going to try so hard to force it. I'm just going to like sit back and let whatever happens. So this is my Friday fiction spread, where this is more for tracking. Okay, my first story, sending it to my patrons. What date? Now, if I deliver this to my patrons on, let's say, January 15th, then that stands to reason that everyone else, the public, quote unquote, will get their hands on it 1 month later. So I'll actually write in February 15th for the public. And then for my podcast, it will be based on when I do my stream, my my Facebook Live streaming, which I'm thinking about putting in the back. I purposely, again, did not put it in the front because while it is important that I track when I do my Facebook live streams and what stories I record, it's equally as important for me to track my submissions. So that's here, my submissions. And I think I don't need this much space to track my submissions. I don't need a full page. So as I'm like saying this, I think I might cut this page in half and use the bottom half as my podcast tracker, um, which in turn will be like really my Facebook Live tracker, where I will track, okay, today I'm doing a Facebook Live stream and I will be reading these two stories, and of these two stories I'm reading, this one will likely be the one that will get uploaded into all of the podcasting streams. And I put a marker here, my first bookmark here, because this is where my monthly spreads begin. And I'm thinking I can either put my podcast tracker here, but my intention was actually to put a quote here. So this is likely going to be a quote page. And then, so I won't show you all of them, but this is what they look like. This is what and this will all be done in black. I will ink this all in black. And then on this side, where it's got this big gap here, I will put notes, and what I'll do is I will transfer things that I put in my monthly to my daily. So if I know in, the month of January, I've got, this birthday, I've got to order this thing to make sure that it gets to my brother in time for his birthday, etc., etc. I will put that all here in the notes, and then I will then transfer those notes, which are just listed here, and go to my daily section and then put it in a specific day. Because while I haven't assigned it in this point in my, going through my bullet journal, I know that I need to assign it a specific day when I get to my dailies, and I want to make sure that I do, and it doesn't get left behind here in my monthly spreads. So I'm just going to flip past, and you can see I did every single month. Here's July. Let's flip some more, and here's the November spread. So I was like on a roll this weekend. Seriously, I can't believe I did, like, I filled 225 pages. And I mean, some people would take the whole year to do that because they would do it, either one day at a time, 1 week at a time, or, a couple months at a time. I did the entire year in one sitting. So here I'm going to put my title ideas. So one thing that I always tell people when I come up with a story, when they ask me, how do you come up with what you're going to write. 99.9% of the time, it comes from a title. I like to have a title first, so if I come up with any title ideas, um, I'm going to write down those titles in here. And if a patron, I think a patron at the $2 level can actually give me a title, and I will use that title to write a story and then dedicate it to them in print, and I will record that as a podcast. Um, then I want to track that here as well, so that way I can be like, okay, this patron gave me this title, and I can make sure, you know, put a star around it, highlight it, something to let me know that this is not one that just will stay in the title ideas until whenever or I never use it, that this is one that I need to make sure that I use because it was given to me by a patron. Um, ooh, big snow now. Oh, yes, it is. Hold on. I moved my desk, so what I would normally be able to just easily see, I can't. So hold on one second because I want to open the one window that I can look out of. I'm not going to put up a time because I'm just getting up to pull back the curtains so I can kind of see what's going on outside. Oh, wow. We have big snowflakes coming down. It's so awesome. Let me open my other window. So I can, very nice. I have two windows. Yeah, I can kind of still see from here. Sweet. Oh, wish that wouldn't happen every time I sit down. Okay, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. My wife just texted me to say that big snow is falling. And she's right. Listening once again. Okay, so next up I have, I'm going to track some projects I might want to do present and future. So what are some crazy wild ideas I have that I know I can't really do right now, but maybe in the coming years I can do, such as, starting a YouTube channel. I know right now I cannot add that to my plate, but it's something that I've been toying with, thinking about, coming up with what my YouTube channel would be. And when I say a YouTube channel, I mean I am streaming simultaneously to YouTube right now, but I mean more specifically like something I record and then edit and then have it post on my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? And then I have a few notes pages. I think I have like four. So one, two, three. Yeah, four notes pages. And then we'll start my dailies, my daily spreads. And my daily spreads are really quite simple. And I uh, love doing this versus doing the weeklies and trying to do the weeklies and then breaking the weeklies down into like tasks and habit trackers. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted no habit tracker in my journal whatsoever. A lot of people use them. I find that they only make me feel like an absolute and total failure. So right away I said I'm not putting anything here that says habit. That's why it's just called a trackers section. It's not called a habit tracker section because I'm not trying to create a habit. I am simply trying to track certain things that I know I need to do throughout this year. And so at the beginning of each um, new month, I'm leaving a blank page. And what my intent is, I'm going to put in the center January, whatever the month is, and then either above it, below it, two, three, four, however many I find, I want to fill this page with a couple of quotes. I might do two, I might do three, I might find four really good quotes. I really want at the end of the year to be able to flip through this and find like 50 amazing quotes that inspired me and carried me through the year and let me know that I can do this. Um, so that's what's going to happen in this page. So here's the January, the beginning of January. And then when I open it, here is my daily spread. So right here is, let me show January 1st. So right here is Friday, January 1st. And what I did was I made the weekends side by side. My Saturdays and Sundays will always be side by side because while I will be doing things on those days, I don't want them they're going to be filled with doing things with my family or for myself for enjoyment, playing video games. And so those will be, I'm not going to start the day by saying these are the things I'm going to do on Saturday or on Sunday. I'm going to end the day. And I might even do it on like Monday morning. I might look back on the weekend and say on Saturday, I, put together a puzzle with my wife. I, did a few more pages in my Lego. I played Zelda. I watched football all day. I did nothing. I went nowhere. I want to keep track of those happy, fun, laid back times, but I'm not going to make them a task that must get done unless it's like do laundry. Then I might, write that in there for myself earlier in the week to remind myself, and I'll look in there and be like, oh yeah, I said I wanted to do laundry today. Let me make sure I get that done. So unless it's a chore, then yes, I will put it in my Saturday or Sunday, but otherwise I want the pages, those days to be blank until after I've done a thing, and then I'll go back and say, this is the thing that I did on these days, and I did them, with my wife, with my dogs, with whatever. So that's, basically how the week will go, and I'll show you. Um, so let's get to the end of the month. So here is the end of January. January ends nice and neatly on a Sunday. And then right here is the blank page, which I will again put February in block letters in the center. And then I will put, several quotes around it. And I like this. So this is, and again, I did this for the entire year. So let's fast forward. So here's October right here. Like it was so easy and so calming to just sit and create these boxes and then write the dates. And I only messed up maybe twice, I think, where I had to go back and like erase, and I caught myself. And then what I was doing is I was getting so good, I would do the boxes first and count like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would know when I'd hit Saturday and Sunday, and I'd do the two boxes, and then I'd do several pages of that, and then I'd go back and fill in the dates. Like I was like a beast. So here's, the end of November, NaNoWriMo, November 30th, which is on a Tuesday, and then right here will be the day where I write the word December, and I put, a couple of maybe some holiday quotes. You never know. And then, so let's get to the end of December so I can prove to you that I actually got to the end here. So here is Friday, December 31st. So here's all the pages that I have filled in, right? So behind that, okay, now I turn the page, and what I put, which most people, like I said, put it in the beginning, but I put it in the back because, like I said, I want to force myself to constantly flip all the way back here to get to it and then put things here, is my gratitudes page. So I want to have a page of things that I'm really grateful for after they've happened, right? Such as I'm grateful that I haven't missed a mortgage payment, which is, I think, going to be a big deal. We're not paying rent anymore, we're paying a mortgage. Or I'm grateful that I got I was able to design my office the way I wanted and unbox my books when I'm eventually able to do that. I'm grateful for my wife and how, proud I am of her. Whatever the case may be, whatever my gratitudes are, the second I have a gratitude that I want to put down, I want to be able to go through all of these pages to get to it because it'll probably ring a bell for me and I may, flip to a page and be like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that on that day. Let me write that in my gratitudes because I should be grateful for that. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, so gratitudes page at the back of the book. And then after that is where, again, I'm going to decide how I'm going to split it from having several brain dump pages and then um, 2022 planning, which will start with my bullet journal wants or upgrades, Bujo upgrades, and then I'll put things like, washi tape. Some people will have, and I was almost going to buy them, but I didn't. When they design their bullet journal and they do the setup and they have a page open, which I would find so helpful because I had to use my hand a lot. They would have these clips, and so you clip each end, and it keeps the thing open and as firmly pressed down as possible, so that way your hands are free to do the designing and stuff. I constantly had to have my hand holding it down or like hold the book like this so that I could get to the edge lines if I needed to, etc. So having those gold, or in my case, I'm going to get copper. I think the copper ones would fit my desk aesthetics eventually. I think that would be really handy. So let's start doing some inking now. I talked myself to death. So let me show you. For now, I'm using what like everybody uses, which are um, the Micron Pigma or the Pigma Micron pens, and they range in size from as teeny tiny a pen tip as 0.005 right here to as fat a pen tip as 0.08 and everything in between. So I've got and I use, when I start using a size for a thing and that thing happens throughout, I try to make a mental note for myself like, okay, I used 0.05 to do all of the headings for my monthlies. So MAR, APR, so in case I should stop and be like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do all 12 months, or I get distracted and I put my pens down, I don't want to be guessing like, oh, did I use a 0.03, 0.05? Because they are different sizes, and you will be able to tell if you go back over using a different size. And I think for that reason, something for me to be mindful of is in the future for my next bullet journal to leave myself a section where I can fill that information in and say, okay, for my monthly spreads, I used a Pigma point, you know, whatever. I need to look at, hold on. I just want to see what they want me to use stickers number 14 for here. Because I did not see any mention of stickers. Oh yeah, they're right here. Step 18. Peel a screw cover and stick them on all visible screws to complete assembly. I put together, or my wife and I put this together on Saturday, my armoire, and instead of normally like with an IKEA piece of furniture, you would get like almost like a cap to put and cover all the screw areas. This one doesn't give you that. They actually give you stickers, um, which is a first for me, that they want you to peel the sticker off and then put the sticker over the hole, which I think is odd because what if the sticker loses its stickiness and then falls out? What do I know? Okay, so I'm going to skip past the index again because I'm really not sure what I want to do. So instead, I'm going to work on my future log while I watch snow out the window. Now, if I had a camera that wasn't my laptop camera, I would flip it around so that you could see what I'm seeing out the window right now, which is snow that is falling heavily, thickly, and definitely sticking. And it's going to be doing this, I think, all day. And for 6 more days this week and next week, which is exciting because I haven't had a white Christmas. Even living in New York City, I have not had a white Christmas um, for quite some time. So, very exciting at the prospect of a white Christmas this year in my new house. That's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm putting away the 0.005 because all the actual, yeah, all, I never use anything, or I never want to use the thinnest of them all. Like, I feel like that's too thin. There's nothing, like, even when I did my mini calendar, I did not use 0.005. In fact, I used um, zero point zero 0.01. So I'm actually going to pull this one out um, to do these numbers here because they are just as small as the mini calendar because they are fitting in like one square. So zero point zero 0.01 for that. Now I don't think I've been trying not to do these lines unless I need to. Like I had the lines here and I erased them. I did not fill them in the vertical lines. And I know I have vertical lines here, but to me it's just for the purpose of making sure that I stayed in the same lane. But I think once I fill these in, I'm actually going to remove um, those are going to get erased. I'm not going to actually color in or ink in the vertical lines. But the heading month, I am going to do in a thicker ink. I think I'm going to do 0.05. 0.08 I'm only using for lines that I actually want to keep. Like when I do goals, this and the heading, the box and the heading is in the 8 point. So for sure. But ooh, I was grabbing the pen and I missed it. Hold on one second. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, here it is. I need to push this back. Hold on a second. That tapping is like the fact that my keyboard is not flat on the desk. There we go. All right, so let's do the headings, and then after we do the headings, I will go back and do the um, monotonous numbers for the calendar days. Oh, let's flip back one page. Start with January, not July. Here we go. I'm also doing my J's differently. I'm not doing the line across the top. I'm just doing the loop that looks like an upside down candy cane. Something else I discovered is I'm not good at inking in ends. My ends, I find, are coming out looking really weird, as well as my Y's. I need to work on those when I ink. So these pens are like perfect for this. However, um, they are a bit wet, so I find I will ink strategically so that I don't rub my hand across it by accident, and I never close the page after I've done inking a page. I'll leave it open for like not very long, like maybe 2 minutes, and then it should be completely dry. But you can tell as you're putting down, you can see where the ink is pooling a little bit, so you know that if you were to rub your finger across it, you would get a smear right away. But as long as you leave it to air dry for a minute or two, then you should be fine to move on to the next. So I'm up to May. And June. Okay, so here go inked in, looking very nice and neat. And now I'm going to switch from the 0.05 or the 0.5 to the 0.1, which is a much thinner, so that way I'm able to trace these numbers a lot clearer and not get any sort of um, weirdness where you can't read what I'm writing because the ink is so big. Now, when it comes to the daily spreads, I'm probably only going to do one at a time, 1 month at a time with the inking. Um, I don't want to do the whole year like I did yesterday or this weekend where I just sat and literally like went cray cray penciling in 365 days. Okay, so here's January now. Because it's so close in proximity to February and I have a big-ish hand, I am going to let this dry before I start doing inking in February, and then the same with March and so on, because I don't want to accidentally touch it with my uh, palm and then have the ink smear. But I guarantee you that like the headers here, the January through June, are now completely dry. I could run my finger across them and they'd be fine. They only need a few minutes. Before they're completely dry and not going to do that smearing, and they don't um, go through to the other side as thin as these pages are. I mean, you would see them if you held this up to the light. You know, you would see through the page, but otherwise, under normal daily usage, this doesn't bleed through to the other side like a Sharpie would. Never use a Sharpie unless it's a Sharpie pen, which I did get and is coming today. That's the other black ink pen that I'm going to try. It's a Sharpie pen, which I've seen a lot of people use, so I want to test it out myself. Because otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with using the Pigma microns. I love them. I find them very neat and clean. All right, I think I've given it enough time, and now I'm going to go in and do February. Now, one thing I've seen people do, which I find is interesting. However, I don't have the right tools. Is they will use like Tombow, which I don't have any Tombow, um, except for my eraser. The eraser that I use is a Tombow eraser, but they will use Tombow brush markers to signify what days in the future calendar are weekends. So they will just highlight those squares next to the date, so that way you'll know where the weekends are in your future log, which I like and love that idea. Um, I just, oh, let's not mess this up. Oh, I messed up. See, the second I said let's not mess this up. Hold on one second. Clearly talking and filling in numbers in sequential order is not something I'm able to do, even when all I'm doing is literally going over what I've already written. '28. Okay, February is done with one little snafu on 15, but I might be able to fix that with whiteout. What was I saying? Yeah, so I don't have that, so I don't know if there's going to be a way for me to signify what days are weekends, um, because that would be, I think the Tombow brush pens is worth me saying, put that for my in my Bujo upgrades. I don't think I don't think I'm at that stage yet. Now I'm looking at the placement of my hand, and I think I can get away with doing March without touching February. So let's try. And then when it dries, I will erase away all the pencil on this page so you can see what that's like. It generates a lot of pencil shavings. I mean, eraser shavings, let me tell you. Two hearts of spy. Okay. Let's give that a few minutes to dry. I think I'm gonna write the the holidays and things that I have written here. I think I'm gonna use the 01 also. I might use the 02 if I want to make them stand out a bit more, but I don't know. I feel like that might be too big. Kind of wish I had my 2019 journal up here so I could test that. You know what? Let me use this. It's 02. Let's try 01. I mean, the difference is so subtle. I'm going to use 0.2 just to, I mean, look at the difference here. How the subtle, okay? The one on the left is 0.01 and 0.02. I mean, it's just so subtle. Okay, this is the top for 0.2. And this is the top of 0.1. Want to make sure you put the right top with the right bottom. Otherwise, you think you're grabbing one thing and you're grabbing another. And you're like, whoops, is this the 0.05? No, this is 0.5. I need to put the 0.05 somewhere where I don't accidentally grab it. Okay, let's take a few minute break here. I really hope I'm not getting sick. All right. I'm going to fill in these New Year's and birthdays, and then we can erase all the penciling and move on to the next 3 months. Oh my God, I need to stop making mistakes. It's not like me. Okay, New Year's. I also love the sound of the pen scratching across the page. All right, I have inked in the holidays. Now we're going to give it another minute, and then I'm going to take my trusty eraser, which I've been using religiously, and whoops. I have like 8 of these. I bought a pack of like 6 or 8, so, But this is the first one I started using, and I mean, I still have plenty of it. It is a plastic eraser from Tombow, and what this allows me to do is erase any pencil under the inking that I've just done, which is pretty neat. Because right now, if you look, you can kind of see um, the pencil under it. Maybe not, but I mean, I can see it. Like with the J in January, that line across the top of the J. Like I said, I'm not doing my J's that way. I'm doing just the hoop like a upside down candy cane. So when I go over it with the eraser, that will be gone next time I show it to you. All right, I think we're ready to do it. Let me just go across these just to be sure that they are dry. Yep. All right, here we go. Need to move the keyboard out of my way here. When I get to the edges of the page, I like to do it slowly because I don't want to crease the pages with my rigorous erasing. But I press down with my fingers and I erase away. March. Just give me a minute. Just doing March. Alright, I think I got it all. Let's just take one last look. Because sometimes you miss a spot and you don't realize it. Okay. So now, looking over here, I see the J now for January, all cleaned up, no line above it. So here's birthdays, holidays, etc. Nice and neat. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and you see the vertical lines are gone. I actually like it without the vertical lines. They were only there for like a helpful tool, but definitely don't need them. So now let's do these 3 months and then erase. Now we need 0.01. Now, in order to make sure I don't go over these, what I'm actually going to do is go June, May, and April so that I'm backing away from the letters or from the months, which I probably should have done with the first three. I should have done March, then February, then January. And that way I don't have to stop in between. So let's start with June. And in June, as you guys may well know, it's my birthday. So I'm actually going to put my day instead of what I have here. Exclamation. Okay. Now, let's do May. Oh yeah, this is much less strain on my wrist trying to make sure I don't smudge something. Just like the ones I used to know. I actually just watched Home Alone. I think it was on Saturday afternoon. It was on Freeform, one of their marathon days, I think. No, maybe it wasn't that. It was some channel that was like showing pop-up knowledge bubbles with little factoids about the movie and the actors in the movie and so on. It was actually pretty cool. Listen, and the children listen to you. Oh, you know what's in April is I think Easter's in April, right? Because I'm looking, I'm like, why is my April month completely empty of actual things happening? But I will fill that in. I also need to fill in some religious days like Ash Wednesday in February, the holy days, the Holy Week. But do you recall those famous reindeer of old? Okay, there's April now. Well, that's gonna take its few seconds to dry. I just want to quickly look up the specific. Okay, this February 17th is Ash Wednesday. Let's write that down. Sunday is March 28th. I think that's also my friend's birthday. Okay. So I got Palm Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter here. Let's give them a few minutes to dry for April, and then I can erase. Can't miss those holidays. Now, I don't think that Brenna streams on Mondays, so she won't be on. I wish there was a way for me to turn off all of these notifications. I'm sure there is. I need to do more. I need to look more into Twitch and what goes on here. I think I just kind of use it, but I don't actually, like, I don't go to the dashboard for, um, like, the creator dashboard very often and stuff like that. I feel like I should, just so that I know what's going on. All right, let's start erasing. Let's erase from the inside out. This one I just heard a sound. Like I just got a notification on something. You know what? It could have been Discord. I find that I don't actually see the notification. Oh, it was. I don't know why. Like it makes a sound, but it doesn't actually show me like a number to say, oh, you just got like a chat message on Discord. Something else I need to figure out and fix, I suppose. All right, erasing, erasing. May is a full day, is a full month always because we have, I think, like 4 birthdays. Not to mention, well, you know, that wasn't, it's Mother's Day. I need to write that down. Not to mention Mother's Day, but it's also our wedding anniversary in May. There's so much going on in May. It's like, if one more thing happens in May, I'm going to explode. Our 2 dogs' birthdays are in May. Allison's birthday, my wife, is in May. I need to write down Mother's Day and Father's Day. Hello, Silent Willow. Okay, so now I've got the 6 months inked in with holidays and birthdays, and I'm right now about to put in when Mother's Day is because I was looking up federal holidays as opposed to just um, um, here we go, May 9th. It's just me, does that seem really early? Oh, I should put in when we have like daylight savings and stuff too. Okay, hold on. I like this calendar. It's showing me all the good stuff. No problem. I'm just, I moved my office. My wife helped me build my armoire, and my desk is moved. Because remember, I told you guys my desk would be moved. So my desk is officially moved, which means I'm no longer facing a distracting window, which is unfortunate because I actually want to see outside because it's going to be snowing all day. It's been big snowflakes, and now it's back to small snowflakes. So if you see me doing like this, it's because I'm craning to look over my monitor or through it here to look outside. Oh. But I didn't want the distraction of the outside, which is why I was like, I really wanted to move my desk. I also wanted my desk here because my plan is to mount a TV at the opposite wall. Um, and then I'm going to put a love seat in front, right in front of where my desk is right now. So when I want to watch TV or a movie or whatever in my office, I can lay or sit here in my love seat or even stay at my desk and have a TV right there and watch the TV. I'm going to have bookcases along this wall. I'm going to have 2 short bookcases, almost like a entertainment unit under the mounted TV. Behind me, I'm going to find some sort of art piece that I can put as my backdrop behind me here. Um, I have where my printer is going to go is currently on the floor, but I'm going to get some sort of stand to put my printer on with a basket for paper. Um, this is not going to be the desk that I have. I'm actually getting a sitting standing desk so that I can push a button. And if I ever need to stand while I'm working, I can do that because there are days that my back is killing me. So having a mechanical desk is going to be so helpful. Hold on while I add a few more what I feel or what I deem to be important holidays. like Groundhog Day. Daylight savings, March 14th. Oh my God, I just messed up the word daylight so bad. That's like the worst. Do I actually have whiteout up here? I know where I do have whiteout in our junk drawer, but no, I don't actually have whiteout on my messy desk. I thought I might, but no, I don't. I have a great many things, but whiteout is not one of them. Okay, daylight savings, Mother's Day, May 9th, literally the day before our anniversary. Memorial Day, Father's Day, June 20th. It's always a week before my birthday. I know that full well. Well, Silent Willow, I'm glad you were able to stop by, even if it's for a few minutes. Okay, so that's all the stuff that I want for the first half of the year. Um, yeah, it is going to be pretty awesome. Like I said, normally if I was in at work, not working from home, um, I stand. Like we don't have a sit stand desk, but I will actually get up from my chair and like walk around, or I'll stand up and lean over my desk chair and work a little bit because it's just so much strain on my back to be sitting, even if it's like the most ergonomic lumbar system best chair that's like, you know, thousands of dollars, which is the kind of chair that they give us at work. Um, Sitting for, a lot of time, especially when you have back problems like I do, I have scoliosis, it's just not good. Um, so it'll be amazing to soon, very soon, be able to get a chair. I mean, a desk that where I can raise it up and I can stand and keep working. Okay, so here's my full capture uh, first half of 2020, all the months, all the holidays and birthdays. I haven't filled in all the birthdays because I always confuse my two dogs which day they fall on, but in May somewhere. I'll just have Allison confirm that for me, which days. So, moving on to the latter half of the year, I'm going to now use my 0.5 Pigma Micron to fill in the words for the month. So July, August, uh, September, October, September. December. Okay. See you later, Silent Willow. I'll be here for at least the next hour and a half before I have to get set up for a long, long, long day of meetings. 5 hours to be exact. All right, so just real quick, I have all the headings for my 6 months, and now I am going to work from the inside out on the days. Now that I learned that I can do that and not take so many breaks in between each month, I can do 3 months at a time without stopping. I feel like Christmas music and country music are the only two genres where I don't mind hearing the same songs every hour, where it's not like hurting my ears if I hear Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You 10 times in one sitting. And the same goes for country music. Although any other genre, like maybe hip hop or R&B, I don't know. It's like I don't want to hear the same one rap song once every hour. I don't care if it's a hit. Okay, that's September. Oh, Tay Streaming mentioned you were live in her Discord. Do I know Tay Streaming? And hello, the writing addict. I'm not as active as I know I should be on Discord or even on Discord servers. But that name sounds familiar, though. It does sound familiar. I apologize because I'm not actually doing anything that you can see because I am limited to the webcam on my laptop and not on a webcam where I can position it so that you can see what I'm working on my desk. But that is something that I plan on getting and incorporating into my streaming setup, which is I want to get a Logitech Brio, and I can point the camera downwards, and then you can see whenever I'm working on filling in my bullet journal on a day-to-day basis before I start my writing streams. But normally I am a stream writer. It's just that I am setting up my bullet journal for the new year. And if I'm looking down like this instead of here where I know the camera is, it's because while the camera is here, my chat is over here on my phone. So it's a bit of a mess because what I see or what I know you guys can see on my stream is on this monitor, my camera's on this monitor, and my chat is down here. So I'm like, my eyes are moving all over the place. 1, 2, 3. I'm quickly inking in my future log because once I ink this in and fill in all the birthdays and the holidays and the important days, it's basically, this is one of those set it and forget it sections or pages, or as we call it in the Bujo world, spreads. Um, I won't necessarily come back to this unless it's to look up a specific birthday or something, and I need just reminding on what day it is so that I can put it in my weeklies. Why are my dogs barking? There must be something going on outside. It's a whole page down. But welcome, the writing addict. I appreciate it. Do you stream or are you just a watcher of streamers? Who write? Okay, so let's hold this to the side. Let's take the 0.02 and let's fill in some more holidays. Oh, okay. Well, that's very nice of her. Let's go to July. I already have Independence in here. Yeah, I'm actually streaming simultaneously on here and on my YouTube channel. Um, and the reason is because, as you know, on here, even if you're a partner stream, they only will save but so many of your streams after the fact. And I kind of want to keep a running record of my streams. So um, I am streaming also on YouTube right now. And then what I do is, like at the end of the week or when I remember, I go back because it doesn't actually use the title that I have on my Twitch stream as my YouTube stream. So I'll go back and I'll update that. I'll put the right thumbnail. And that way I am able to have that if people want to go back and watch my streams as they become a bit more organized. Right now, they're kind of not organized. They're kind of all over the place at the end of the year. Um, but they can go back and watch it. And I do want to have like an actual YouTube channel, which will be the one where I'm streaming to, that will be more recorded and edited and all that jazz. I have some ideas, such as, showing how I bullet journal as a writer um, using minimalist design, because while there are some YouTubers who do Bujo and they show their minimalist designs, I feel like they're not minimalist enough. They always go a bit extra, and I really want to strip it down and show that anyone can do Bujo. It can be like way stripped down, way minimal, and it doesn't have to be as intricate as some might believe. All right, so, and I don't think that that's really represented in the YouTube Bujo world, where there's like a legit writer who shows off their bullet journal and how they do it and why they use certain spreads. Because a lot of the spreads that I have, I had to create myself because, I just don't see anyone else creating this because no one else is, a writer and therefore needing to have these spreads. Like I have a word count spread, right? Um, as far as I know, I don't know any YouTube personality who does bullet journaling who has a word count spread. And mine is not good by any means, but it's going to do what I need it to do. I may find a better way of representing it on on the pages and therefore, make it better and prettier. But for now, it's going to do what I need. And I think that having those kind of videos on my YouTube channel might actually be seen by some people. I have to be very careful because I don't want to smudge what I've already written. I want to give it time to dry. Okay, so my cousin's birthday, and then yeah, I honestly don't ever see any as well. And the ones that I do see, unfortunately, because they are, I'm sorry, the arm of my chair constantly pops out. The ones that I do see, they are a bit on the artistic side, so they're a little too fancy. And it's like, yeah, I'm not using washi tape or uh, uh, construction paper and stamp lettering and drawing flowers and leaves and having themes of color and painting, but they happen to be a writer, and so they're like, well, these are my, spreads. Not to say that that's not cool and awesome and that I don't enjoy watching it. Um, exactly. So that's why I'm saying, like, you don't have to do that. Like my bullet journal, I showed the opening pages of it. I'm starting to ink it in right now. But like literally, this is what my bullet journal looks like. Like the first page, I have the year, very simple, sketching, outlining of making. This is about as fancy as I get. Okay. This is the fanciest part of my bullet journal that you will see is me doing the block letters of the year. Otherwise, everything else basically looks like this. Okay, so I have my word of the year. It's not inked in because I want to use a different color or colors. When I do that, I'm actually getting this sort of like Pigma, like the Pigma Micron pens that I use, but they're colors. So yeah, but then like my index, right? Simple, nothing fancy going on here. Again, the most fanciest I get is with the box, the line that surrounds it that kind of makes it look a bit neater because it's boxed in, right? But that's like, again, my mini calendar here, which is the entire year, all 12 months, um, painstakingly done. And now I'm working on this, my future log. Again, no fancy artwork, no doodling, none of that. It's literally just each month, the days going up and down. I fill it with birthdays and holidays and important events and things. And so that's what I'm working on right now. As you can see, I just did July, August, September. I'm about to erase the pencil, and so it'll look as clean as the first 6 months. But that's like what my bullet journal looks like. It's a series of lines, letters. That's it. My brother got our mother's artistic skill, and I got her imagination, creative skill with writing. So my mom was an amazing poet and writer, but she also was an illustrator. And so when she had her two children, Benjamin was able to draw like nobody's business, and then I became the writer. So she was not able to impart us with each with both of her amazing skills. We each got one. And what's crazy is my birth father, he is an amazing illustrator, painter, has had his, as far as I know, has had his paintings in museums and stuff. So it's weird that I didn't get any artistic, like illustrator abilities at all. My brother and I don't share the same father, so while he did get some artistic abilities, it definitely, I don't think was from his father. I don't think his father can draw for a stick figure. But anyway, so let's let this dry. While that's drying, I'm going to do December. Ooh, 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 ooh. Started using the wrong one. No one will notice that but me. 4, 5. I got so excited talking, I forgot I was holding the wrong pen size. Okay. They're singing deck the hall, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here and all the fun we had last year. To save space, part of me wants to write like Xmas Eve, but I'm gonna make it fit. Because one thing I do find neater is when I write in all caps. I'm trying not to do like capital letter and then lowercase unless it's like I'm writing out a sentence. Also, what are my dogs barking at? It's driving me nuts. So distracting. I mean, nothing's going on outside. Okay. Let's erase July through August. Let's do it. Let's clean this page up. Where's my eraser? Oh, it's had plenty of time to dry. Okay. Get it all. Just have this one line here. Okay. I think we got it all now. So now this page, I can get rid of this. Where are you? So now this page is clean of lines and penciled in stuff. It's just regular stuff. So it almost looks like I'm an absolute neat freak who was able to do that without tracing at all. Not. Okay, let's fill in the November and then October, and then we're done with our future log. Now I do want to fill in here, like when a newsletter is due and when I plan on delivering Friday Fiction, but I'm not going to do that with the black ink because I'm doing color coding. That's like the one, you could say that's the one upgrade I'm bringing in from last year into this year is color. Normally, I would just do this whole thing in black ink and move on with my life, but I think because I'm going to be much more diligent about tracking certain things like people's birthdays, anniversaries, um, my newsletter, my podcast, things like that, my writing and when I'm delivering them and to whom, um, having colors and using, so I'll still write like Friday Fiction or I'll write newsletter, but it'll just be in the color of the coordinating. And it'll help me to get used to seeing those colors, and those colors will stay those colors throughout every bullet journal. So I'll know if I decide that blue is newsletter, anytime I see blue, I'll know it's telling me a newsletter is coming up. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's the November days. Let's now do October. And I know there are some people who are like, why put yourself through all this when you can just get a planner that will have all of this broken out for you in each individual page? And my answer, I think, lately is twofold, not just for the sake of me being able to organize where these things are and how they're represented on the page, but similar to when I used to color. Unfortunately, I don't color anymore. Um, I wish I did, or doing a puzzle or um, something of that nature. It's actually very calming, and I think in a time in all of our lives when calming things can be hard to come by, if you're surrounded by and inundated by um, sadness and just um, you know, negativity, you need to find that calming place and that thing that you can focus on that might be meaningless or mundane or repetitive, but it focuses you. It keeps you focused on making sure you're doing the numbers in order, you're doing the months in order. And for those, 30 minutes at a time, everything else is gone. And here is where you are. And sometimes you can't do that when you're writing because you need to be thinking about the next scene or a moment you need to hit. So there's a bit of logic and thinking involved, where something like this, At least in the inking stage, there isn't because you've already penciled it in for yourself. So no, the only thinking you need to do is making sure you hit the mark of what you've already pre-written in pencil perfectly. And it's just a way for me to kind of like suspend reality for a moment and just work on this. Um, okay, so let's see if there are any days on here that I did not. Daylight savings is November 7th this year, so let's write that down. And let's write it correctly. Perfect. Did not mess up like last time. Oh, October 11th. Ellie Bell, all those happy days. Tuesday. Let me put New Year's Eve down here. And being able to squeeze in words small is why using a thin point is helpful. Let's put Thanksgiving here. Oops. Thanksgiving. And then I want to write NaNoWriMo down here. Not exactly centered, but I'll take it. It's my first time. Not my first time doing NaNoWriMo, but writing it almost freehand down there. So I figured it wouldn't have been centered exactly. Okay, so that should be everything. I don't know anyone's birthday in October or November. Interesting. Not true. Not true. I think October, it's either the 5th or the 7th. Hold on. Let me confirm that for myself. Oops. October 5th. And where is Sketch? December 5th. Okay. Those are two I really want to make sure that I had down. And now I think I can erase this page and be done with my future log. And I can show that to you guys. And then I'm likely going to move on to my goals, which means I'm going to finish this post and that you've been like just seeing up on the screen. I'm actually going to go back over it, read it, transfer what my goals are onto my goals of 2021 page, ink it in, and then schedule this post to actually go live so that people can find it and read it. Because right now it's just in draft mode. Um, so that's what I'm going to do after I finish this. And you guys get to see what my goals are for 2021. All right, let's start erasing because I'm hella excited. Let's make sure we're not going to smudge anything. The last thing I wrote was sketch. Yep, no smudging. As I was saying before, Pigma microns dry very quickly. So while I wouldn't like immediately start erasing pencil lines, seconds after I've gone over the pencil, I would just give it a minute, 2 minutes, and then just lightly run your finger over it and you'll be able to tell right away that it's completely dry. But when you're using it, you will see that there's like ink pooling, so you'll know that it's a wet ink. It's just not a long-lasting wet ink. It will dry very quickly, which is why so many Bujo people use it. And it's very inexpensive. These pens are, I think, like maybe $6 or $7 on Amazon. They don't cost a lot. I will be making a like an Amazon list of like what I use, um, so that way if anyone wants to find them easily, they could just click those links or whatever and be able to find very quickly what I use. Oh, you know what it is? Flat on the table. Okay, I think I got all the pencil markings. Let's see. Let's have a quick look over. All right, so now here is July through December, all the important birthdays, dates, whatever. It's not completely filled in. And then what I did was down here at the bottom of November, I wrote NaNoWriMo just as a reminder to myself that the entire month is NaNoWriMo. Simple. So here I have a look back on 2020 and then my goals of 2021, which I'm going to put right here. They're not inked in yet because I wanted to make sure that they are uniform across all of the places where I'm telling people what my 2021 goals are. And that is Patreon, my blog post, my newsletter, my bullet journal. So in those 4 places, I want the wording to be identical. So what I'm going to do right now is go into my Patreon. And you guys can see this. I'm not like hiding anything. Oh, I have 5 messages. Hold on 1 second. I'll look at that Off stream. Let's go to published. Not published. Is it scheduled? No. Is it on the drafts? Did I not even write the post yet? I did my word of the year. Did I put my... Oh, I didn't even write my post yet for patrons. Okay. That's helpful. I know I wrote it somewhere, though. It must be in my newsletter. Let's check my newsletter. This is why it's good to do these things. Tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. Campaigns. Oh, it's scheduled. Well, let's pause that. Let's edit this. There's a new one. I want to try it. Please don't be too crazy. Don't make me regret this. Oh, wow. I mean, this is cool, but I need to return back. I'll do this off stream. Oh, hold on. No, I'm not going to provide feedback right now. Can we go back to my campaigns? Whoa, why does it look like it's blank? It said it was going to save it. Did it lie? Oh my God, if I have to redo the whole thing. Oh shit. Oh my God. It lied. Whoa. What is this? It saved them like that's interesting. So it didn't delete it. No, that's my November. I don't want my November. Here it is. Oh my God, please tell me there's stuff in here. Oh my God, I can't believe I wrote out that entire email and it's gone. It said like if you look at the new setup that it would not get rid of what I had. Did it not say that? Did I read that wrong? Because I'm a bit upset right now that I had that whole thing and now wait, I may please tell me I emailed this to myself. Hold on, I don't want you guys to see my email. Please tell because sometimes I'll test it before I send an email. So hold on. That would just be Oh, I did. Okay. So while I am pissed, I did not actually lose it because I emailed it to myself. Oh man, freaking MailChimp. Oh, snap. Okay, so I'm literally just going to copy and paste at this point. They are playing games right now, though. I mean, I like what they're showing me, but like, why would you do that, bro? Like, I was like, oh, it's not gonna do anything if I just click this little bit here. Oh, wait, I just got screwed. Um, okay, so here's uh, this, and now can I delete this block here? If you're not a part of my email newsletter, I sent this last month. And what's so amazing is right across the street, literally in front of my house, these four deer just crossed the road and they hung out in my backyard for like an hour. And so I shared that picture with my subscribers to my newsletter. It was pretty sweet. So the moral of the story is when a program is trying to show you a beta of something, don't accept it. Until you're absolutely sure you've backed up the thing because they could be lying and it could all be disappeared. And then you would be upset. I'm going to put my little iPhone box here. I think that'll be a cool thing to have in my backdrop. Although you probably can't even see it. But anyway. Okay, so now here are my lofty goals. Let's add that right here as a separate block all together. Copy, paste. I'm not going to number them. I'm going to bullet them like so. And let's fix this because it's looking like a mess now. And let's remove the numbers. There we go. Okay, before I read over that and make sure that that's just the way I want to word it, let me finish putting back what these people made me think I lost. Okay, so there's that, and now I'm going to go my podcast, events and announcements, become a patron, Discord. Now for my favorite things. Where can I find that image for my favorite things? Let's think. I'm gonna have to do it over here so again, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Uh, Oh, I thought I had Sharpie pens coming, but this says Bic. Oh, I didn't order the Sharpie pens. Well, glad to have seen that now. Hmm. Well, let's go back. First, I'm going to include the journal that I'm currently using. Okay, and then I will use the pens. Oh, wait, let's do one image at a time so that I'm not. Because I want to make sure I put the image and then the link. Can I rename this? Wait a minute. Why am I not? Oh, because I'm not in downloads. Duh. Okay, so this is a Luke Turn 1917, which is like the classic A5 dotted. Okay, so now let's upload that image there from downloads. Perfect. Okay, so let's put a link to. Okay, there's the link for that. And oh, no, thank you. Now, do I want to put the Pigma Micron pens or the other thing? Let's put the Pigma because I can actually vouch for those. I can't vouch for the Bic yet. I've never tried them. So let's put these. And let's rename that to what they are. Which is Pigma Micron pen set. Replace this. Upload. And there we still. So let's change. See, this height looks bigger, but by the dimensions. I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'll email it to myself and see what it looks like. Let's get the link. Okay, all you need to bullet journal in those two things, and collectively it's like, I think maybe it would cost you $30 American. The pens are 10, and the notebook I believe is 19.95. Yeah. So 20 for that, 11 for the other thing, so like $31 plus tax. I have Amazon Prime, so I have free shipping, but you know. Okay, so now down here, let's fix my PS with what I intended my PS to be. Oh, yeah, I think I'm sending this email like on the 29th or the 30th, I think was my intention, which will give me time to use my brand new mic to record my Christmas tale um, for my last official podcast episode of 2020. I'm just going to release it everywhere. It's not going to be like released to my patrons and then stagger it and release it to the public later. I'm just going to record it with my, like I said, my, hold on, with their eyes all over. Why does it say no color? There we go. I'm just going to share it everywhere. Okay, so here is my email. Here are how I want my, let's read this. Write 2 short stories every month. Each story will range from 2,000 to 15,000. Let me put words. I mean, I hope people know that's what I mean, but just in case. Words in length. That's 24 stories in 12 months. Submit at least 6 of the short stories I write. I don't need to put in 2021. Stories I write to a literary publication / magazine. My intent is not to get published, but to give myself. Actually, I don't need to say all that. That can be for like another post. Work on my definition. No, I don't want to use that. Record and release 18 of my short stories for my Friday Fiction podcast season 12, and I'm not going to do 18. I'm actually going to do 12. Put all of my, no, that's not a resolution either. So actually I have 3. So, and I'm good with that. You don't want to have too many resolutions if you're going to do resolutions or call them goals, whatever you want to call them. I recommend not at least having 1 and having no more than like maybe 5. And of those 5, make sure at least 2 of them are not going to be taxing. Um, and try to make them, like, don't have them be goals of like lose 40 pounds or, um, you know, run every day or something like that because you don't want to set yourself up. Those should be personal and they shouldn't be public and they shouldn't be goals where if you don't do them, you're going to feel really shitty about it later. You should have goals where when you look back, even if I don't do all 24 stories, but let's say I do 12 or I even do 6, then it's a goal where I can look back and say, well, I did 6, right? You don't want to set yourself up with a goal of like lose 50 pounds, you only lose 2 and you feel bummed because you didn't come close to the mark. So you want to make sure that the goals that you pick and that you set for yourself are 1, manageable, 2, okay, and you're okay if you don't make them. Um, And three, just, positive goals, good goals. You don't want to do goals where you're stressing out every day. If you don't do them, then, your world could be crumbling. Okay, I want to copy this actually before I schedule this again. Coffee in the pumpkin pie. Um, Let me send myself a test email again, since I did make a bit of changes, so I don't want to rely on what I did last time. I want to be able to keep a track. Closely we're together with you. I'm waiting. And then maybe later today I'll take a look at MailChimp and this new updated thing they got going, because I like the idea of it. I feel like I would need to redo a template that would adhere to the new beta setup. What is taking so long here? Down to the chimney with that Saint Nick. This is taking a. Oh wait, I think I sent it. Yeah. I don't know why it's still spinning over there, but I got it. So let's just close this and let's schedule it for. Let's see, I'll have my mic here. I'm going to probably need Saturday and Sunday for myself. Let's say I record something on Monday. Whoops. Edit it on Monday. I think I'll release this email on the 30th. And I'll do it at 11 a.m. Yay. Okay, so now I need to make sure that that transfers over to all my other things, right? So let's do my patron post, and then I will handwrite in my Bujo, and then I'll end with my blog post on my website. What was that? Deliver secure patron-only podcast feeds and access advanced analytics with I think Acast costs money. I think I looked at that, and it's not free like what I use, which is what do I use? Anchor. Uh, Okay, let's log this under news. This will not be early access. I want to schedule this. I mean, I know I'm not going to change what my goals are, but I still don't want to release it right now. I think I'm going to release this just before Christmas. So let's release it on the 21st. My email newsletter basically will get this last because I'm going to release everything else prior to that, but that's okay. We could do 11 a.m. and okay, there we go. Schedule that. You're all set. Hold on, I need to see what the heck my list was. Schedule. Oh, okay. Let's scroll down in this blog post because this is way off. So let's do this. And let's change this from numbers to bullets. All right, now let's take what this is and let's write it into our Bujo, forever immortalizing it. Oh no, barking again. These dogs, they bark at like leaves falling. Okay, I'm going to erase what I've written in pencil so that I'm just going to wing it. I'm not going to write it in pencil first and then trace over it in pen. I'm just going to trust myself to be able to read it off the screen and write it without one mistake. So let's use, I'm going to use 03, I think. That's what I may have used. Not too big, not too small. I want to be able to read it. Okay, first, write 2 short stories every month. Each story will range from 2K to 15K words in length. Okay, I only messed up like, I think twice. Not bad. Okay, next. submit. 6. I don't want to say at least. I actually want to write that I am going to submit 6, not at least 6. Submit 6. Okay, last but not least, I probably could have done this in all caps because I only have 3 and now a lot of this box is going to be left blank, but you live and you learn. Record. Oh God. Oh, I think my stuff was delivered. Hold on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, who wants a bit of a mini unwrapping? Because the things I thought I wouldn't get till way after I'm streaming arrived. My dogs lost their shit about it. So let's open it up. So here I've got some big pens, which is supposed to work similar to the micron ones that I use, but these are a 0.4, so they might be a bit thicker, but they're all black. They're not like multiple colors. Now here, the heck is this? Strange packaging. Okay, so here I have the multiple colors. How many colors are here? 20. I didn't know it was 20 colors. I thought it was like a 12 pack. So I've got 20 colors. So I have to figure out what I want to color code and then which color I want to use. I want to kind of stick to the normal like Roy G. Biv colors and not do like a crazy blue-green or some nonsense like that. I need scissors, because these are not opening for me. Please hold while I try to get these out of the damn plastic. Ow. Okay, here we go. It's like they child-proof this thing. They don't want anyone to get into it. Okay, so here are my Bic Intensity. These are also 0.4. So hopefully they won't be too thick. If I can get it open. Good Lord. All right, let's just take a look at the black, shall we? Which is what I already have. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same. Ooh, cold. Yeah, it's thin, but not too thin. So this will be good for me to use. Like I said, in place of black, I'm going to use like red and green and blue. I just need to decide what color is going to represent what thing. And then I'm sure I'm going to love these, so I'll probably just get this again as they dry out. But there is Zebra has, and I was looking this up because I love Zebra pens for like almost everything. They have like markers that are going to be replaceable. So they'll be the click ones, I think. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm really fascinated. So I think I'm going to order like their smallest pack of like 5 colors just to see what it's like. And it's supposed to be this new thing that they're coming up with where it's the marker and it's clickable, but the ink is replaceable, which means you can buy the casing and then just replace the ink, which I think will be a lot cheaper moving forward. But anyway, I kind of want to use the black Bic for something. What can I use it for? I've got 3 of them. I only need 1. I wish they would have come in like 3 different sizes, so then I could have tried like the different sizes of them. But I like Bic. There's nothing wrong with Bic. Bic is a good company. I'm going to try this on something. But first, let me finish what I was working on, which was my goals. Record. And wait, I wasn't using this one. This is too thick. I can tell that right away. This is what happens when you have too many different sizes. And release. Record and release 12. My glasses are so dirty. Okay, so let me just do this real quick. I don't have my eyeglasses cleaner down here. I mean, up here. I have them downstairs in the living room. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's take a look now. So in my bullet journal are my goals. So like I said, I think I should have done what I said I didn't want to do, which was pencil it and then ink over it, because what I probably would have done, seeing I have all this white space down here, is written all of this out in all caps, and it would have taken up more space. I could have done like 2 rows for each letter instead of 1 row, keeping it truncated in like that, and it probably would have taken up the whole thing for 3 goals. But things being as they are, I learned now, so when I do this again next year, that's what I'll do. I'll have, 3 or 4 goals. I will pencil it and then ink over it, and I'll make sure that it encompasses the whole page so it doesn't look like, boy, I only have 3 goals. I mean, you could say that doing it this way means I give myself room to add maybe 1 or 2 more goals that I feel I am up to the challenge of doing because I'm doing so well, with my other goals and keeping up with it. Like maybe after 6 months, I'll look back and say, okay, is there a goal I can add here? Um, and I'll add it, although I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. Okay, so let's see if somewhere I can use this pen. Because I really want to try it out. I think I might try it on the word count page. For now, I kind of want to bring these lines in, so let's do that. I'm doing the books I'm reading page right now. It's just 1 page. Unfortunately, I'm not an avid reader like I used to be. I used to read 1 book every 3 days. Back when I would ride the subway, the New York City Transit to work, I would read the entire way there and back, and that gave me the ability to read 1 book every 3 days, which amounted to about like 6 hours. It took me 6 hours to read a book, and I'm not talking about some slim mim book. I'm talking about like, a big tome of several 3, 4, 500 pages. I mean, I would devour it. There were days I'd miss my stop because I was so engrossed reading the book. I would miss my stop and be like, oh shoot. So what I would do is I would keep track of where I am on the train, and so when I would get to the end of a chapter, because I hated stopping reading when I was in the middle of a chapter, so if I got to the end of a chapter, I would look up, see where I am, and then I would say, okay, I'm, 2 or 3 stops away, so I'm going to stop reading at this chapter, and then I can remember I'm on chapter 10 or 15 or whatever. It was just a lot easier for myself to do it that way. Now, I do have stencil, but I don't use it. The only time I ever feel inclined to use it is when I'm doing uh, letters that I hate, doing, such as O. I really hate doing the letter O because I'm just not good at circles, but you know, you do what you can. Okay, so here I've redone the lines a bit, but here is my books page. So this is going to be the books I'm reading. As you can see, I brought the lines in a bit. Um, oh, I did it on one side and not on the other, like a moron. Oh well, again, you learn. On the inside, I should have brought that in one more time. This is why you're supposed to count dots. I was moving too fast. But it's these kinds of mistakes that make the book more authentic and more you. Nobody wants a perfectly organized bullet journal, do they? No. All right. Let's erase these pencil lines now. I don't think the word books is dry yet, so let's go here. The part that's going to be exciting is when I start looking up quotes to add to these quote pages. Like, for instance, the quote that's going to be to the left of the books page, I want it to be a quote about how reading is wonderful and great and you should read all the time. So I'm going to find a quote on the joys and pleasures of reading, and then I'm going to put that quote there because it's just appropriate for it to be alongside the books I'm reading page, you know? Okay. Let's just erase this now. All right, so I cleaned up the lines and everything, but like I said, I messed up the box. You can probably tell, you probably can't, but basically here, I did it perfect. The top, I did it perfect. The bottom, it's all the way on the inside there that I should have come in one more dot, but I did not, so it's not as wide as it is if it were done properly. But you know, like I said, you live and you learn. So here, I think this page is where I'm going to use my black Bic Intensity pen. Um, and I'm going to use it to do all of the months. So I'm going to do all the months. I don't know if I'm going to do the squares. When I do the months, I'll see how thick the line is, and then I might use it to do the squares. Otherwise, I'm going to do the squares in my .01 because I want to give myself enough room to write the page numbers. I mean, the word count numbers in there. So let's start. Let's see how I like these. I can't believe I forgot that I had ordered the Bic pens and not the Sharpie pens. I really thought I had ordered the Sharpies because I was fascinated by the fact that Sharpie had made a pen, number one, and a pen that would not leak through to the other side of the page. Because to me, I would never do Sharpie anything in a journal because everyone knows Sharpies bleed. I mean, a Sharpie would even bleed through like thick construction paper. It's just the nature of a Sharpie. But I've been watching a lot of bullet journal YouTubers, and a few of them, let's see what that looks like there. Not bad. Oh, hold on. Brothers. Mm. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was doing this. Sorry, my brother texted me and I had to answer him ASAP about Christmas things. Christmas things. Okay, here we go. This is what it looks like using the Bic. I feel like this dried instantly. Like there was no need to wait a second. I mean, the second I finished writing, it was already dry. I'll tell you that. Now, how it does when I go to erase what's the pencil markings is a different thing. I don't know if it'll get erased by my eraser. It shouldn't, but you never know. Let's see. Let's see. How do we do? Pretty good. No real difference. I also think it might not be thin enough though for me to do the boxes. I'm gonna have to do the boxes with the thinner 0.01. Again, just so that I can give myself some space to write the numbers in when I put what the word count is for the story. I don't want to take up too much space. But it's a good size for me to use to write, like if I want to write the title and stuff like that, and I don't want to use up the ink for the Pigma Micron. I would definitely use the Bic. One is cheaper than getting a set of Pigma Microns, and two, it's a good size. So, and I have four of them, four black, because one came in the 20 count, which is also a plus. So I think what I might do is the Pigma Micron might just be for like setup, and then I can use the Bic for every day when I write in here, and I'll look and see if they have other sizes, multiple sizes, the way they do for the Pigma Micron. I know Zebra has like two sizes. They don't have multiple pen tip sizes. I'm just doing all the squares right now. I think I might even do the numbers with the same 0, 1. I feel like 0, 2 might be too big. I'm almost thinking the 0, 1 is too big for the squares, but I can definitely fit numbers in there. I only have to fit 1 through 9, right? So oh, did I not do a line here? No. Excuse me. I didn't mean to sneeze right in your ear. The sneeze caught me by surprise. Now, I have a ruler, which is like one of those things where if you want your lines to be perfect and straight, it's recommended to use. Mine is right here staring at me. It's small in size so that it's perfect for you to like fit in your bullet journal. You could use it as even as like a separate bookmark if you wanted. And it's got this corkboard thing in the back for gripping so that it won't slide as you're using it on the page. But I don't use it. So, strangely enough, I like that my lines are not perfect. I'm not looking for my lines to be perfectly straight. I like that it's got a bit of a wiggle and a wobble, and my squares aren't perfect squares. They're as perfect as I can get them. Same thing with reason why I don't use the stencils that I have. I can't show you those because they're downstairs in my filing cabinet, but I do have stencils so that if I wanted to do perfect circles or other shapes, if I wanted to be fancy and add stars and squiggles and banners around my words and half moons and all of that fanciness, I could. And I tried it, I think in my 2018 bullet journal, wherever that bullet journal is, I don't really know. But again, just didn't like it. I felt it wasn't true to me and the fact that I'm not an illustrator whatsoever, and that while I love organization, it's not, I don't need, the aesthetics needs to come from the organization, like for instance, I'm doing 24 stories this year, so I wanted to make sure I could fit 12 on one page and 12 on the other. If it was, you know, if I did it in a way that it was like 13 on one page and 11 on the other, I like my eye would twitch. That's the level of the kind of aesthetics that I want, is that I think about, okay, if this is how many things I want to list, this is how I have to divide it onto the page so that I don't drive myself nuts every time I look at the page and I say, what the hell was I thinking? Okay, if you're wondering what I'm doing the word count boxes. Now, the reason why I'm able to know how many boxes to put is because I do have a word count cap, right, of 15,000, which means I only need to have 5 boxes to cover 5 numbers for whatever the word count is, because I'm not going to write a short story that's more than 5 digits. So it's just a matter of, and the reason why I'm putting it in boxes instead of just freehand writing the number when I know what the word count is so that when I count it, and usually I like to do um, things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, all that stuff in my head. I don't like to rely on a calculator, so um, I'm one of those people who will, I'll close my eyes and I can see the numbers stacked on top of each other and add them and then remember each digit and each carryover and then get the total. That's how I like to do, unless I need to get the number like within the next 5 seconds, then I'll stop and do a calculator. Or if I'm like doing measurements, then I'll stop and use a calculator if I'm converting from feet to inches, etc., etc. But uh, so because I will be doing this visually, I'll be adding up the word counts from top to bottom. I just want to make sure I clearly separate the numbers. And the best way to do that is to just put each number 1 through 9 in its own little box. Well, here's that Mariah song again. I guess they don't play it every hour. I've been on for more than an hour. And this is only the second time I've heard it since streaming. I need to flip the book upside down. When you get to the bottom, if you don't want your wrists to be falling off the page as you're inking things in, my suggestion is just rotate the book, because you're really just tracing, so you don't need to keep the book in any one direction. Rotate it however you need to better reach what you need to reach and have a better, steadier hand when you need it. So because I'm just literally tracing lines, I don't need to keep the book straight up and down. Just rotate it and keep doing the lines. Because at the end of the day, what matters is not the process you took to get to the end result, but the end result. I mean, sometimes the processes, it matters immensely too, because it's very relaxing. Like I said, to me, it reminds me of when I used to color with crayons and color pencils and markers. It's just a very relaxing thing to do. It helps to clear your mind so that when you get back to doing your daily routine, you're not bogged down. Oh, I just realized what time it is. Okay, I'm going to end the stream soon because I need to get dressed and get prepared for 5 straight hours of meetings today for work. And I am really not looking forward to. I'm hoping I have a bit of a break so that I can grab food somewhere in there. All right, let's spin back. One thing I will say about these is it seems to gravitate naturally to the pencil that I put down, whereas with the Micron, it's almost like it doesn't feel the pencil marking, so it allows me to kind of stray off the lines, which I like because sometimes my pencil is just there for reference, not so much to be copied exactly. So that's something for me to keep and be mindful of, is that this thing seems to want to like magnetically be like, hey, you have pencil here, let's trace this. And it's like, no, dude, I don't want to trace this. It's just for me to know that a T should be here in capital and a D should be here in capital. Not for me to trace it, because sometimes what I write in pencil is not as neat as what I'm going to write when I trace over it. If that makes sense. Okay. So here is what I've done so far. It's kind of all over the map right now because I haven't really, but I've got this page almost completely done. The boxes are inked. What I haven't done is I haven't filled in the numbers here, so there are numbers here still in pencil. I need to go in there and just put a number for each month, and then I'll do the same. Over here I just did the uh, January, February, March, April, May, June. I need to, as you can see, color in the boxes. The boxes are done on one side and not the other. So I will fill those boxes in, and then my Friday fiction word count spread will be complete. And I'll likely do that off stream because I'm going to just keep this open in here. And while I'm in some of these meetings, I just need to be present. I don't actually need to be participating. So while I am present, I will just have it down here. They won't be able to see what I'm doing. And I'll just pretend like I'm paying attention. Shh, don't tell them. Okay, but I am going to end my stream. Oh, my hat is like pulled way back. Okay, so I'm going to end my stream, put different clothes on so that I kind of look like I'm dressed for work from the top half. And I'll be back tomorrow doing more, probably doing the tail end of whatever bullet journal inking I have to do. I will have my my color coding all color coded, and I'll be working on that, making sure that I adhere to the color codes, etc. I'm going to be testing out all the colors and seeing which ones I like and which ones I don't for that. Yeah, hopefully I'll try to be on a bit earlier tomorrow. Today I think I was on a bit later than I had anticipated. How long have I been on? Oh, 3.5 hours. Yeah, I'm way over my sell by date here. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who was here. Thank you for everyone who came here via someone else's suggestion that they stopped by. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more bullet journaling, as we should be completely 100% done with bullet journaling work by Wednesday, I anticipate. Because like I said, I'm not going to do the dailies. I'm not going to do all 365 days. for my daily spreads. I'm going to do them 1 month at a time. So I'm going to do January right now, and then all the other days that are penciled will remain penciled. And I will ink them in like mid to late January. And that's how I'll coordinate that from now till the end of the year.